Okay, we ready, Eric?
Ready?
Yep, good to go.
Okay, let's go.
Yo, TD, Tom Daves, like one of my best friends, man. You have been in this industry for years, decades, and have been on the forefront of just massive success. Bro, what are the four pillars that you think require someone in real estate to succeed?
Well, thanks, Bill. And this is true whether it's your health, whether your business, whether your life, there's really four pillars. Number one is decide. Number two is commit. Number three is change. And then number four is succeed. You have to decide. Decide on your goal. Be specific. And when you want to accomplish that with an action plan. Number two is commit. Commit and focus on your action plan. Put it in your schedule and don't give up. And then number three is change. The market doesn't determine your success, it determines your strategy. So change the people around you, create an environment, a cheerleader, an accountability partner. And then number four is succeed. Keep going until you succeed. Like Churchill says, never, ever, ever give up. Don't quit when you fail. Fail until you succeed. Wait, let me say it. Did I say that right? Yeah. Don't quit when you fail. Fail until you succeed. So thanks, Bill.
Thanks, brother. Like valuable, valuable. I actually am going to be executing on all those, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Bill. See ya.
See you, man.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now we're going to let everybody else in, and it's your show. Okay.
And let her rip, baby.
Thank you for doing that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be up in, dude. I'm gonna be up in Sacramento. I think on the 15th.
Yeah.
For that Thursday. So I'd like let's make
Yeah,
sure
let's
that we
hook up, man. Absolutely.
let's do some dinner or something, man.
Yeah.
Not too long.
Yeah. I see your workout routine, man. You are on it. That is
Bro,
great.
I have been off it. I just got back. I would love to tell you I've been on it. I went to Mexico with for my son's senior trip. What's up, guys? Good to see all of you.
Hey, Randy Bird, Don Yoakum,
Oh, damn.
Justin.
Don, when are you coming back up to Salt Lake? When are you in town, man?
I think it's going to be soon. I think it's going to be
Yeah,
soon.
I thought I saw soon in his.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just saying that I hope to see you in October. That is prime time for Moab. So, I trekked through your area on the way.
Well, dude, you got to make a little side trip if it's October the 29th through, or excuse me, September the 29th through October the 1st. We got our big Randy event. It's taking place down in Vegas, and I just secured Sugar Shane Mosley as one of the speakers, and I've got Pudge Rodriguez. I've got a whole bunch of iconic agents. I may be leaning on a couple of you guys to get you on stage as well too for that event. We're doing some really cool stuff, but I'll talk about that later. Not on today's call. Today's call is about me pouring into you, not about me pitching you, right? If anything, I'm pitching you on why you, the power within you and the ability that you have. First of all, crew, for those of you that I don't know, Coach Pye, or Tom, do you want to introduce?
Yeah, let's go, man. Bill Pipes, tell us a little bit about yourself for maybe the one person that doesn't know you, and let's just jump
This
right
is
in.
for
We're
Randy
so
Bird,
excited.
who I don't know, like we've never met before. So Randy needs to like have a clear understanding, right? Guys, been in the industry. I'm hitting Randy, this crazy TD, 30 years of coaching experience and real estate experience in August, which is insane, So, and I'm still standing. Yeah, right. Many of you I've gotten the chance to see. Whether it be at Build or at One Big Fire or any of the events that Brandon's put on or coming into some of these sessions as well too. So I don't sell real estate anymore. I did have a team. Now all I do is coach. Conducted, geez, Randy, I think I'm approaching 120,000 coaching sessions now at this point, guys. So it makes me, and it's. Someone said this to me, and I'm like, oh man, it's sort of weird to say, but makes me the most experienced coach in the world for real estate agents. There's no one else that's done more coaching calls than me. Which is Matthew. Good to see you, bro. Stuart, always love seeing your smiling face, dude. And I say that not to impress you, but to impress upon you. There ain't shit that I ain't seen. You know what I mean? And it may just be packaged up in a new, a new bundle, but it's all pretty much the same. When it comes to success inside of real estate. So I just got done speaking yesterday. I got two things that happened. I just got back. I always preach this, and I want you guys to write this down. Any of you guys that have done bold, this is almost like a little rip off of something that Dinah Kokoska said. But Patrick, my focus with this industry, like with this space of real estate, Randy, is to make as many millionaires as I possibly can to support as many people get over the 7-figure mark. I really believe, Michelle, that Pitt, if you're going to play the game of real estate, play it for 7 figures. You know what I mean? Like it's such an open opportunity, Matthew, for all of us. Like like if you're not going to play for 7 figures, I think you're undervaluing yourself. I think you're undervaluing the opportunities that exist for you. And I mean this with love in my heart. Get out of the way and make room for someone that is pushing for that. You know what I mean? Because like there's just way too much ability that we have, especially being part of this group right now. I mean, being part of the Atomic Habits group, being part of EXP, being part of, Tom and Don and Randy and all these, and like, honestly, some of the best leaders in the nation, you know what I mean? When it comes to real estate and even outside of real estate. That's my vision, guys. And, like when I look at every single one of you, just know I relate to you as if you're already at 7 figures. I'm going to talk to you as if you're already at 7 figures because we grow into the conversations that are around us. Do you guys believe that? Yes or no? We
100%.
we expand in the expectations that people have of us. So I just got back. I had 2 things that happened over the course of the last 2 weeks. Number one, this is what I wanted you guys to write down. The purpose of a 7-figure business is to live a 7-figure life. That's my old. Any of you guys remember Bold? Remember when like Bold was fun? Anyone remember Bold? I mean, Tom, like Bold, and what's the purpose of business? The purpose of business is to fund your life. Well, I took that a little bit further, Jackie, and I said, no, I'm pushing people for 7-figure businesses, but it's not the end result, Don, of a 7-figure business. It's what you do with it in the 7-figure life that you get to live. And obviously, Matthew, we cannot monetize like a relationship at 7 figures, but a 7-figure relationship for me with my significant other, Anna, means we're in love and we're expressive and we're supportive and we're having great sex and we're, creating amazing memories and all of these wonderful things that actually take place, right? The purpose of a 7-figure relationship in spirituality is that I've got this insane relationship with God, who is the CEO of my company, just so that you guys know, right? So, and that is driving me, and that relationship is super important to me, and that I'm praying and I'm going to mass and I'm doing all the things, and and even fly fishing. Fly fishing for me is a spiritual experience. It is not an activity, right? So, I'm doing all these wonderful things. I just got back from, you guys will laugh at me. You'll probably think I'm somewhat stupid, right? But it was one of the most magical experiences, Patrick, I've had. I just got back from 8 days in Soyalita, Mexico, which is north of Puerto Vallarta. I took my son and 6 boys, so 7 18-year-old seniors that just graduated on their senior trip to Mexico. Oh my gosh. First of all, thank God I made it out, right? So, but I was able, Tom, to say this to them, right? Because the sacrifices, and one of the things I want you guys to write down here is the success I'm committed to having is built on the sacrifices I'm willing to make. The success that you want to have, George, in your business and in your life, it's built on sacrifice. And when I'm working with someone new, and right now, Randy, I have such a privilege. I mean, I had the chance to coach 2 of the men that are on this call, and I loved every single one of the calls that I had with them. And I look back on it with incredible fondness, right? Which is, I got to coach Randy Bird as he was exiting Tom Ferry and was beginning to do his own thing and beginning to expand into the incredible leader that he's become in EXP. And I'm just so proud that I was in the foxhole with him during that time. It was such a magical opportunity, Randy. And I thank you for that. And I got to coach Tom, right, as he was making his decision to say, I'm done with real estate, right? So, which is always a fun moment when your coaching client goes, I think I'm done, right? Not done with coaching, but done with real estate. And so I got to be able to work with Tom on, the end portion of this incredible career that he had. So one of the things I always hit the people that I coach with is this. There are 4 questions that with any goal, you've got to cycle that goal through to create the motive to take action. Okay, 4 key questions. Number 1 is, Matthew, what do I want? Look, we're halfway through the year right now, right, guys? Like like Michelle, we just crossed over a couple of weeks ago, or about 10 days ago, we crossed over into part 2 of 2024. Part 1 of 2024 is now over. Part 2 is upon us, right? And you got to take a look at it. What I encourage all of you guys to do is really take a look at the second half of the year and say, what do I want? And hopefully you've done that, built a plan around it. If not, you're behind. I'm going to kick you in the butt and say, you got to get some clarity around what the second half of this year is going to be for you, because clarity is always power, right, guys? That clarity gives you power to be able to take action. So what do you want? Question number 2 is, why do I want it? Now, you've heard this before, right? So write down question number 2 is, why is it that I want what it is that I want? And George, this is invariably that why conversation, right? Like, why do I want it, right? And you've heard it from Simon Sinek. You've heard, Glenn talk about it. You probably heard Tom and anyone else that you're bringing in, Tom Daves or Bird or Yoakum. We always talk about the why. Now, here's what I'm going to say to you guys: is this, okay? And I mean this with all due respect to all the personal growth and development gurus that are out there right now. I think the massive attention that's been put to understanding your why is a bunch of BS, right? I really do. And you may think, well, can they all be wrong? It's not that they're wrong. They're missing a component of this entire question asking process to create the motivation. Motivation is motive to take action, right? See, you want to know why you want something. And typically, Michelle, Jackie, that's like a pleasure-driven piece. Does that make sense? Like, what? My commitment, 1,000 people that we help cross over $1 million in real estate, right? Like that is my big, hairy, audacious goal. People say, Pipes, when will you quit? I said, I'll consider it when we hit that. We're at 42 right now. So I got a ways to go, right? My game isn't over. God's got work to do with me still yet, right? And so, but that motivates me. Why? Because I've seen people do it. I've seen individuals. I've had it happen 42 times where I talk to them the morning of and they're like, it happened. And I'm like, yay. And I tell them, Birdman, I go outside, look at it, open the door. And they're like, okay. And they're on their phone or they're FaceTiming me. I'm like, do you see the ticker tape parade, Don? And they're like, no. I go, is the limousine there to pick you up? They said, no. I go, exactly. It's just another damn day. Now get your ass to work and make your prospecting calls, right? But still, there's like this measure of success that happens, and it's a big number for people. See, that's exciting for me. But the what? Now, here's the third question. What about it is an absolute must? What about it is an absolute must? Why do I want it is pleasure, right, guys? And that's what everyone teaches. Use the pleasure to motivate you. Put it up on your dream board. Look at it. And my friends, I absolutely 100% support that. I want you to understand, when I say it's a bunch of BS, it's only a bunch of BS if you don't use the second component to this entire process. And the second component is, what is the pain? Basically, the what about this is an absolute must. What is the pain I will experience if I don't hit it? That, Justin, it's so key, man. Because we run away from pain. We run away from conversations about pain. And for me, and I always use this story, and I want to be very clear. I am incredibly grateful and filled with appreciation and gratitude for every single partnership that I've had in my life and everything that I've learned from the wonderful partners, from Mike Ferry to Gary Keller, to the time I've spent with Glenn, right, to John Cheplack, right, to now, I'm not sure how many of you guys know this, but I have brought in someone as my director of the board, Mr. Bob Corcoran. He actually is actively involved in G3 Nation now, has basically said, and you want to talk about an honor, right? He said, Pipes, you're my exit strategy. Is that an honor? And I just look at that and I just go, oh my gosh, man. So what about me hitting, and Bob is like on board with this 1,000 people. What about this is an absolute must? Well, one of my old partners said, Pipes, you're never going to succeed doing a business on your own. And that's a pain that motivates me, where I'm like, and I'm so grateful that this person said it to me, because I'm just like, oh, give me that fire. You know what I mean? How many of you guys have ever been pride challenged or challenged like that? And you're like, dude, game on. Anyone besides myself?
100%.
Yeah. Where it's just
75-day hard. You can't do it.
Dude, you are the poster child of 75. You and Matt Smith are poster childs for
Oh,
75 hard. Like no joke. It's a competition for who's done it the most, right? But so I look at that, and so what you want to look at for yourself to keep that motivation, and we're talking a little bit about mindset and the power being within you to be able to have the breakthrough in the second half of the year. What you want to look at is what is your pain driven strategy that you can use? You don't use it all the time, but you use it done on those really tough days. Does that make sense? See, I'll look at my dream board. I'll look at the Bill pipes on top of the body with the head cut off of the like really yoked guy on my dream board. But then I'll also think about how does it feel to step on stage when you're fat pipes? You know what I mean? And those two things, the pain and pleasure, are used together to be able to motivate you. And most people only lean into the pleasure, and therefore, when it gets hard, pleasure isn't enough of a motivating factor to keep them moving forward. Does that make total sense, guys? Yes or no? Okay. Now, Patrick, I don't want you using pain all the time. Because what happens is neurologically and physiologically, you release cortisol that puts you in a fight or flight state, and you can burn out at that point. So you just use it in those key moments. Okay, new movie coming out. I'm so excited about this. I haven't been excited about a movie like this in a long time. It has two of my favorite things in it. It has my favorite actor, and it has my favorite sport right now. It is the new Formula One movie with Brad Pitt. I'm not sure how many of you guys have seen this. It's getting released. I'm like, dude, oh, and it looks really good. Okay. In Formula One, right, they have the normal car, but then also they have an ability to basically hit a button and it gives them about 30 to 50 miles an hour, or not miles an hour, more horsepower, right? And that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're trying to pass, right, it absolutely makes a difference. See, that pain is your turbo. Does that make sense, guys? And on the days that you don't want to do it, you take that out. And I use it for myself, and I go, oh man, what if that guy was right? What if I can't run this company? What if I'm gonna like poop the bed? And I'm just like, nope, okay, figure this out. Does that make sense, guys? Yes or no? Okay. And here's number 4 for me, Megan. So question number 1, what do I want? Question number 2, what do I want? And question number 3, what about it is an absolute must? And question number 4 is, what is the sacrifice I'm willing to make to get there? What is the sacrifice I'm willing to make to actually get there? This again, Birdman, is the stuff that a lot of personal growth and development gurus don't talk about. They don't talk about the sacrifice. They talk about the end result and all the wonderful accolades and the kudos. No. Have any of you watched the insane acceptance speech of Tom Brady into the Hall of Fame? Is anyone, if you have not, right, Justin, it's honestly one of the most rad things I've ever seen in my life. I have watched it over and over. If you have not Googled Tom Brady acceptance speech, watch the entire thing. Watch it like every like key points from it every day for the next 7 days. What he leans into. Now, whether you are a Brady fan or not, you've got to recognize excellence, right, guys? And this guy is the walking embodiment of excellence when it comes to a sport or it comes to a commitment. Okay. Yeah, Jan, it's the bomb, right? So from what he ate, I mean, you know what's crazy? The dude ran a faster 40 at 42 than he did at 22. Think about that. Tom, that'd be like you water skiing and are you a better skier? Can you ski more aggressively at what are you, like 51?
49, no, 69. You know what? I was definitely a better water skier at 29 than I am now, but I can still barefoot. So I still got it.
So it would be the equivalent, TD, would be this, that Tom is a better water skier at 69 than he was at 29. Think about the level and type of life you have to live to be able to hit that. Is that insane, guys? Yes or no? All right. So anyway, here's what he said. He went on this diatribe. And he said, it's a sacrifice to get up early in the morning when you're 15 years old. It's a sacrifice to be able to actually, when everyone else is going out and partying, for you to be. So I want you guys to look at, and for the second half of the year, you've got to look at what is it that you're willing to sacrifice to hit the goal. What do I want? Why do I want it? What about it is an absolute must? And then last but not least is there's some sacrifices that you're going to need to make, and you got to own that SHIT. Does that make total sense, guys? Yes or no? Okay. Right. Now, I'll put you under the hood to my life, right? My son came to me. He said, Dad, we're going to watch Game of Thrones. He goes, I've never watched Game of Thrones. Do we have any like old school people who watch the original GOT, Game of Thrones? Yes. Anyone like leaning into House of Dragons right now? Okay, it's all right. We can admit it. I was watching it last night on the plane. So my son says, we're going to watch Dad, I want to watch Game of Thrones. I've never watched it. I said, okay, cool. Let's watch it together. Like, let's do episode for episode, one a day, etc. Well, Don, I'm a obsessive compulsive individual. Do we have any other obsessive compulsive individuals? Yeah, no one here on these calls would ever be that obsessive compulsive. Justin, I watched 8 seasons in like 3 weeks. What does that mean? What it means is I got my sacrifice off. My sacrifice was wrong. I was sacrificing for pleasure versus sacrificing for results in my life. And instead of me doing my reading, doing my meditation at night, my evening rituals and everything else, Don, I was binge watching Game of Thrones, and I finished it in 3 weeks. Shame on me. Great learning lessons. We're going to talk about failure here in a second as well, too. Okay. But see, what am I going to sacrifice in the second half of this year? I'm sacrificing Netflix, right? I'm not watching TV in the evening anymore. I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm going to have one hour that I'm going to watch the new release of the House of Dragons, and that's it, right? That's my only thing that I'm doing. Because what happened was, because I wasn't willing to sacrifice that, I was staying up later, missing my morning routine, not hitting what it is I needed to hit, and not actually in the flow of what I needed to be in the flow of to be able to actually crush my day. I sacrificed the wrong way. Does that make sense, guys? I didn't sacrifice the wrong way. I sacrificed in a way that gave me a lesson. Now let's talk about something, okay? I want you to write down this word, okay? By the way, you guys getting some good stuff today? This is like a different route than I was even planning on going. I was like gonna go one way and I went, no, we're gonna go this
better. Audible.
It's always. I want you to write down the word failure. And underneath that, if you would please, write down what is your relationship to failure? What is your relationship? What that means is, what is your energetic response to that word? Like, and I know we're all like, high level conscious individuals, been trained, etc. But don't give me like we're on a webinar and here's the answer that I should give you. I want you to give me like the real thing of when you fail, when things don't go your way, when you lose a listing, when a deal goes sideways, something falls out of contract, like a past client purchases or sells with somebody else. Like, by the way, Don, it's so crazy because I do believe language creates reality. So I've always tiptoed around even saying failure. I'm like, no, it's a lesson we haven't learned yet. No, we failed. We had a result. The result wasn't hit. That's called a failure. Right? I have a football. I want to get it into the end zone. I throw an interception. That's not a lesson. That's a failure. You know what I mean? Is there a lesson to be learned inside of that? Yeah, of course. But we got to own our stuff and not be afraid to say, I failed at this, and therefore I can succeed at it in the future if I have the right process. So tell me what your guys' relationship is to the word failure. Anyone just unmute yourself.
It's part of the path to success.
Yeah, totally part of the path. Absolutely.
Failing forward, right?
Yeah.
Is what John Maxwell wants us to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easier said than done sometimes. You know what I mean? When all of a sudden I lose a 30K commission, it's difficult to look down that barrel and go, I'm really excited about this lesson. You know what I mean? So, okay. But I agree, Don. Yeah. And I'm going to give you guys some really cool stuff today around this here as we wind down.
I put in there, Bill, I get frustrated.
Totally. And that's a normal human being response. You know what I mean? Look, failure should, and I want you to write this down, failure should sting. It should sting. I imagine Don going down like one of these wonderful, like, incredible slick rock paths on his, on his mountain bike and just blazing, and all of a sudden, freaking the front wheel buckles, right? Okay. And Don goes spraying out over the handlebars, onto the rock, and sliding forward. Okay? Does that sting? And the answer is what?
Well, by the way, that did actually happen. My front wheel came off and I cracked my pelvis and collarbone, and I've got 2 hip replacements and 3 dislocations since. But you're looking at a sweaty shirt from mountain biking, baby. Didn't
That
stop.
doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. But I guarantee you, watch, when it stings, we pay attention. Does that make sense? Pain grabs our attention. So it's okay to have that initial look. Michael Jordan didn't lose to the Detroit Pistons and go, awesome, that's great, right? I'm super. No, he was pissed. Kobe Bryant, you guys know this. This is a great story, really quick. This is towards the end of Michael Jordan's career, and it's Jordan at the Wizards, Bird, and Jordan's playing the Lakers. And Kobe is, like Kobe's in his up and come, right? And Kobe is wearing Jordan. He has his own shoes, but they're Nike shoes and they're Jordan, whatever. And Jordan torches, like has a game on him, right? And ends up outperforming Kobe. And as they're walking off the court, it's such a great story, right? And to hear Kobe talk about it is fantastic. Or hear the people that played with Kobe talk about it is even better. Jordan's walking off the court and he turns to Kobe, he goes, "You may wear the shoes, but you're never going to fill them, young man." Oh, dude. Oh. And watch, do you think that stung? Do you think that was painful? Do you think he let it sink in? Yeah, dude, that's right. Taylor, like, where are you? I can't see you, but Taylor.
Sorry, I got a bad background, but yeah, dude, I love that story. He went silent for 2 or 3 weeks.
Silent for 2 weeks, bro. Didn't talk to the other players on the team for 2 weeks. Now, is it because he was pissed at them? No, it was because he was getting the lesson in the failure and taking the action necessary from that. Does that make sense, guys? And then they also knew they were playing the Wizards, Taylor, in 2 more weeks, right?
Yep.
Kobe comes out, torches Jordan. They have a little bit of fun. Obviously, that baton gets handed over, etc. But it's okay for Matthew to say, "This sucks. This stings. That's horrible." I'll be honest. When I lose a coaching client to Tom Ferry or John Cheplack or any other coaching company, right? Like, it doesn't make me happy. I'm happy that they're getting coaching. Disappointed that I'm pissed that they're not getting it from us. I let that sting so I can make an adjustment. So now here is the thing, and this is something I got from Tim Grover. Tim Grover, who is the amazing personal trainer for and Bird. You and I got the chance at Ferry to spend some time with Grover a couple of times, which is really special and amazing. For those of you that don't know, he wrote the book Winning. I think he also wrote the book, I think it's called Relentless. Yeah, there we go, Russell. Yeah, both books, fantastic books. If you haven't had the chance to read them or listen to them, please do. It'd be great, like part of your personal growth plan for the second half of the year. But Grover said this. When I asked him, I was having lunch with him in the green room after he had spoken, and you guys, some of you have heard me tell this story, but it's worth actually hearing again. I said, "Dude, what is the big difference? What is the big difference between the Jordan, the Dwayne Wades, the Bryants, and all the rest, Pitt?" He said, "It's really simple, Bill." He said, "What do you do when you get knocked down?" And I gave Yoakum like the automatic response, which is what? What do you do when you get knocked down?
Get back up.
Right, get right back up. Right? There's songs that have been created by Chumbawamba, right? I get knocked down, I get up again, right? You get knocked down, you want to get right back up again. I said, "Well, you get right back up." He goes, "No, that's not it." He goes, "That's a misconception. When the greats, when Jordan, when Bryant, when Wade got knocked down, they stayed down for a little bit. They let that failure sting a little bit, right? And then they ask a couple of key questions. Number one, how am I responsible? How am I responsible?" They owned their you-know-what right away. They didn't blame it on anyone else. I think the pandemic that has hit this country is a lack of responsibility and people trying to blame everybody else. That's a real pandemic. It wasn't COVID. It's a lack of responsibility of people being able to take personal responsibility for their actions. We blame everybody else. So that's a very valuable trait, to be able to own your caca. So number one, how am I responsible? Number two, what were the actions I took that created this? What are the actions that I took that created this?
Well, and that's awesome because so many agents are victims to the market right now. And they're just like, the market is, it sucks, the market this, the market that. Well, the market doesn't determine your success. it determines your strategy. So
Totally.
I know we're running short on time. If
I got 1 minute. Let me give the last two. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Number 3, what is the lesson in the failure? So how am I responsible? What did I do to create the situation? What is the lesson in the failure? And here's the big one. How will I adjust my approach? How will I adjust my approach so that this never happens again? That's the game. That's how you turn failure into feedback, and feedback into action, and action into results and success, my friends. So, Tom, we should do this again.
Awesome.
I
Let's
got got so much more, but would you guys be down for having me back again? I'd love to be able to actually, like, you know, and for those
We
of you
love
that
you, Bill.
I
Absolutely.
love you too, Yoko. By the way, Don, I'm sure there was a lesson in the tire coming off that made you a better mountain biker, you know, from that experience, right? That as you approach it,
100%. You know, I did not prepare my equipment properly that day, and so I paid the consequences.
totally. And because it stung, that shit won't happen again. So anyway, you guys, mad love for every single one of you, to actually see my bros, to see like all of you, you know, I just care so much about every single one of you. Bird, Yoakum, Dave's, you know, you guys are freaking generals and warriors. I love you to death, right? So the rest of you guys crush it. Can't wait to
By
see
the
you
way,
guys in Sacramento.
Bill Pipes is coming to the greater Sacramento area on August the 15th. We'll get you more info on that. Pipes, thank you so
Well,
much.
wait a second. Also, give us one more pitch on your Vegas event. What's going on there?
Yeah, so go to salespowerevent.com, right? There's gonna be there's information on there. Click on the Vegas event. We've got on Sunday a private, it's a mega agent mastermind, right? That is taking place. That is for individuals that are probably earning over 7 figures or very close to it. We're capping that off at about 50 people, I think it is, that are going to be in that Sunday mastermind. I've got, you know, obviously that is designed for leadership, and it's a leadership conversation, a scaling conversation, etc. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm releasing. It's not going to be like the old events that I've done. It's still going to have the component of it that is scripts and dialogues, but they're fitting inside of 3 different plans. I'm going to be teaching 3 plans: the plan to get to 24, what the addition is on the plan to get to 50, and what it is to do 75 transactions, which in most cases is a 7-figure business at that point. Inside of that is the marketing that needs to take place, the operations and the admin that needs to be there, the team that you need to have, and on top of that, obviously, it would not be a Bill Pipes event, a Coach Pipes event, if we weren't doing role playing, working on scripts and dialogues. But this is a lot different because I'm giving you the entire playbook of 24, 50, 75, and all the components for it. So you'll walk out of that being able to go, which one do I want? Do I want 24? Am I going for 50? Am I going for 75? And it's a step-by-step, paint by numbers way to be able to actually get to 7 figures, okay? Regardless of where you are. So I can't wait to see you guys. And you will be Bruce Leeing, and you will be I am a great salesperson, and you will be doing all the stuff that I am known for. So it is not that we're removing that. We're just adding more tactical components to it for you guys. More holistic. Thank you guys, and thank you for the opportunity again. Okay.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Pipes. Y'all got your inspiration. Time to put in the perspiration. Let's go. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Everybody.
Yeah. Bye now.
Thanks, everybody.